We are live. Hello, dear starshines. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's Lunchtime Chats. For those of you who are new, my name is Christina and I'm an acceleration expert. And we are here to talk about those topics and issues that are significant for us star seeds, way showers, and new paradigm visionaries. We have capabilities, capacities that are not embraced by our larger human family. Therefore, we have very different perspectives and ways in which we see the world unfolding before us. So I'm here to do to the best of my ability to share a liberated perspective to these kinds of challenges that we face on a daily basis. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, dear Sister Carol. Good to see you, dear Starshine. Glad you're here. As you guys come in, hello, say hello. Let me know you're here. There's some cool things I want to talk about today. We are going to go deep into the great mystery today. There's some exciting things happening in the interstellar, interdimensional planes that have only a matter of time before it percolates through our realms and into this reality. So that's where I want to start our focus, and then bring it all into a here and now reality perspective. So welcome everybody, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so you guys may have noticed that something is different. Maybe you woke up out of bed last week, a couple weeks ago, and realized, well, wait a minute, something's different. You can't put your finger on what's different, but you just know something has shifted. Maybe something has all of a sudden exploded in your face, or maybe all the things that have been exploding in your face, all of a sudden you feel very different about it. Whatever it may be, just there's something that maybe you haven't been able to put your finger on. And so I want to talk about that. Now there was, so I want to talk about this shift that people are trying to define and looking for, data in the different realms to put their finger on why it feels different. And then I also want to weave this into Dreamtime. Dreamtime, mastering Dreamtime is way more than just envisioning. It's actually about the art of magnetics. So I want to dive into that. And this all ties together. These shifts that have happened in the outer realms, it all ties together with the bridge of Dreamtime. So let's start with, what has been, what are people pointing at that's behind this massive shift that just, we all feel that something's different, but can't put our finger on it. Maybe something's more clear. Maybe what you thought was clarity, you realized it's not clarity. Stuff like this. Whichever side of the coin you're on, just you notice it's just completely different all of a sudden. Okay. Now, in the past couple weeks, there was a lot of chatter about the gamma rays hitting this planet. Now, there was a supernova there that exploded, and many light years ago. And what happened is now that the radiation from that explosion is showing up in our atmosphere, and it is a strong, measurable presence of gamma rays, because it's equal to what we would consider a mild solar flare. Okay, but instead of solar flare frequencies, which do contain gamma, but there's many other kinds of frequencies within solar flares. And solar flares can, wipe out our electronics, disturb the satellites, stuff like this. But what I'm referring to is the gamma rays. Now, those of you who are followers of our dear sister Starshine Z, she talked about these gamma rays, and she discovered them from another dear Starshine. What was her name? Indigo something, not Indigo Angel, a different girl, who pays very close attention to the galactic weather and Schumann resonance and stuff like this. And she was I believe the reference point of pointing out that the gamma rays of this particular stellar event is now coming to our planet. And also, Suspicious Observer also talked about a substantial increase in the gamma rays in our upper atmosphere. Now, if you guys recall, gamma rays, especially for you sci-fi and comic book fans, gamma rays give us superheroes like the Hulk. The Hulk was a super soldier that got zapped by gamma rays, pushing a colleague out of the way, and became the Hulk. The big Spider-Man that created Spider-Man, that spider was radiated with gamma rays. So it's been woven within our narrative on this planet, an awareness that gamma rays changes our DNA. Okay, it actually has a direct effect on our DNA dance. Okay, and of course, these imaginative writers, took it off in those different directions and give us some of our superheroes that we know about today that are in our pop culture. So there's been that talked about as why there's this significant change that no one can really put their finger on, but they know something's different. But I actually want to weave in yet another event that has happened, a much more subtle, gentle event. And that is, according to Kusea, which is an ancient seer in Africa. I know of this information via Una Solel Ferguson. If you guys are familiar with her, she is a well-known Celtic shaman that does a lot within the disclosure space and ET communications and stuff like this. She works with indigenous elders from all over the world. She was trained by a Greenland elder by the name of Anangak. Okay, so she is highly, highly skilled. And when I worked with her, it's like I just felt like an instant connection. It's like I recognized her being. So there's times when our paths energetically cross, and that time came. Our paths energetically crossed, and she shared about Kusaya. He's a 108-year-old seer, well known in Eastern Africa, and he had his grandson announce that there is a new star in the sky. Okay. Now let that sink in for a second. There's a new star in the sky. And this star is a bearer of peace. Deep waters of peace. Okay. Now, the star, when I heard her tell this story, it was like it's like vivid Dreamtime for me. It was a full spectrum experience, even though it was just a simple YouTube video. Oh, and actually, let me post the video so you guys can feel into the energy of what she's talking about herself for yourselves. Okay. Here, there we go. We'll just put it in there so you guys have it. So as soon as she was mentioning the star, I instantly knew that I know this. I know the star. I know the beings of the star. In a lot of ways, I'm part of the beings of the star. It's like so profound for me. And it ties into visions I've been having. Now, we all meditate, and when we meditate, we get visuals and stuff, but I've been having like visions vividly come forward out of nowhere for me. Or maybe not directly, I don't know, where I am sitting and being still and quiet. But they're really strong. And I'm noticing how deeply they're running and how quickly the external validation happens. It's like I see it before I go to bed one night, and by the next morning, there is a physical validation, a physical confirmation data set right in front of me. It's like usually less than 24 hours goes by and everything I saw in my vision is happening. So, and what my visions have been, all right, I'm gonna put them together because there were several sequences that all string together, but it took about a month for me to get to the frequency of connecting with this, connecting it all together with this new star in the sky. And what was going on was, those of you who are in the academy, you know, we many of us did a pretty intense training on womb space healing. And, you know, so I think 5 of us of the 35 people in our group did this training. It was profound. It was really great. It was Marguerite Rigoglioso and Indigo Angel and Z that did this womb space training. I believe this is an annual thing that they plan on doing because it was so impactful and profound. Anyway, wonderful work for those ladies. I can't give them enough props. They did such a great job with that workshop. I am just blown away by the kinds of shift that I'm having from that. So stemming from the work that I did with that, I was starting to get called to these unknown places. And there were places that were mysterious and dark. You might consider some of it being underworld, but there were other things too, other places. And then I was connected, and this is kind of trippy about the bots and stuff on YouTube, right? Then I was connected with a researcher that was doing a story about the story of Tiamat, the splitting of Tiamat, which has deep roots in the cosmic mother dragon race, in case you guys need that little extra connection there. Cosmic creational forces from the great mother dragon race. And this is a precursor to Orion and precursor to Draco and all this other stuff. These are ancient beings. And anyway, so, and one line in the mythology, because he was pretty much reading a verbatim translation from the Mesopotamian tablets about the story of Tiamat. In the story of the splitting of Tiamat, there was this one line that, so half of her was remolded and shaped to be this earth, the earth plane as we know it. And the other part of her and her waters were sealed away deep in a place so deep and far away to ensure that her waters could never escape. So that line leaped out at me like, whoa. And later on, I don't know if it was that day or the following day or whatever, a vision comes to me where all of a sudden I'm with this bowl. And these are deep pieces I don't normally share in this context, but it feels important, so I am. Normally I keep this kind of stuff only to our circle within the academy, or even our inner circle inside of that, you know, but it feels important to share this part. But all of a sudden I was aware of holding this bowl, this old pottery bowl. And I had this awareness that I was drinking her waters, the waters of Tiamat, the ones that were cast and imprisoned to never be found. And then one thing after another started unfolding with that. Lots more of frequencies of unifying different consciousness templates. The swan people from Cygnus, that there's lots with that. The Aldebaran Stargate opening, that was huge. That was during the eclipse time. That Stargate like blew wide open, and we had massive access to different star systems and galaxies that normally we don't have access here in this planet. So massive charges and unifications with that kind of thing. Much higher dimensional frequencies of the moon are now accessible beyond the manipulation programs used, you know, that the moon is used for. And then these waters kept coming back. They started off not necessarily clean and pure. It was like, you know, it felt like they were heavy, like it was heavy water. But then they started getting lighter and lighter and lighter until I was experiencing them as silver stream essence. And as that was touching me in my awareness, in my body, my bones, then the star comes. And I instantly knew that they were connected. They're connected. And according to Husei, the reason why the star is here is because humanity, the collective field of humanity, and this is the golden piece here, guys, the collective field of humanity, their heart has said yes to peace. The collective heart frequency of this planet pulled this star to their atmosphere. Guys, yes. And I feel like this is an important message for you guys all to have, so you recognize that there's so much more going on than the drama of the media, the politics, the blah blah blah, you know, the threat of war, the this money and that shortage and this and that and blah 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 blah. You know, you can stack that you can stack that troublesome pile to the moon. But there's so much more going on. And it's way more potent and powerful than any of those narratives of the 4D field. Okay? So feel into that. And do check out that video. You know, Una, I love Una. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. High level integrity. She's a, like I said, she's a Celtic shaman that I met in Florissant, Colorado, in the mountains. And yeah, she profound work. She's been trained by masters her whole life. And just about, I don't know, I think about 15 years ago, she started going off on her own, uniting the teachings from many, many ancient wisdom keepers in the different tribes around this world. So through Africa, through Australia or New Zealand, and all through you know, different places where she was called, she's been in connection with the ancient seers of this planet. Kusaya is 108 years old, living in Africa, in the countryside, I believe. So these ancient seers, they don't say things haphazardly. You know, they don't just blurt something out. They speak with wisdom. They speak with measured patience. They share what they know deep inside is important. So the fact that he's instructing his grandson to reach out and get this message out just speaks to the depth and importance this had for him. So, and this ties into dreaming the world into being. It is so much more than envisioning something that you want. It is so much more beyond that. It is aligning yourself and tapping into that part of yourself that truly is the master creator of this reality, such as that force within the collective humanity whose heart call that brought that star into our sky. Okay? We have the power to bring stars to our reality. We have the power to steer our very galaxy. Now, this sounds sci-fi, but when you touch this part of yourself, you recognize the words that I'm saying, that this is true. There's some part of us that has that level of impact. And it's not petty stuff. It's big stuff. It's stuff that matters to not just this planet, but every being in the solar ring, every being in this galaxy. That's the level at which we are master creators. So when we are using Dreamtime, Dreamtime is our unfettered access to these levels of who we are. And there's a very strong interest of our spirit, of our infinite nature, to explore ourselves through this reality, explore our creations through this reality. So there is a real interest and focus on our here and now in this biosuit. We are so much more than just meat bags. This is a hyperdimensional, highly refined DNA suit. Okay? All right, let me pause there and just chime in. There's a bunch of people chiming in. I just want to honor everybody in the conversations. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, dear sister Eva. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Hey, young trick named Jim. Low frequency, inaudible. Oh, okay. So let's let me dial this in here. Okay, so we say low frequency, inaudible frequencies are often pushed into many cities. The sound activates our fight or flight responses, anxiety. They've been doing it a bit extra since the midterm elections. Yes, yes. I have noticed there's been an amping up in the bombardment. Yeah, there has been an amping up in bombardment. And you guys, that might seem like a bad thing, but that's actually a good thing, because you know why they're amping up the bombardment? Because the original plan they had didn't work. Okay. The original plan they had didn't work. So now they're like, pump up the volume, man. We're not loud enough. We're not distracting enough. These people haven't lost hope. They're not totally hurting the way they're supposed to. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. And then dear Sir Felicia, blessings from Vancouver. Good to see you, Felicia. Ella Daniela, so good to see you, darling. I'm glad that you're here. She says, I do feel like coming out from an intense dark tunnel where all was moving. My insides too. Lately though, a complete and increased change I notice within, coming out more and more myself, more energy, light. Yes, very good. My dear sister Laurel says, this is Laurel. I'm glad you are speaking to this today. My dreams finally come back with a vengeance last night after weeks of spurting. Okay, awesome. Yes, and do know this does happen to with our dream time, everything everything is natural cycles. It's just not bombardment, like how our technical engagement with life is, or different. Everything is a cycle. It's like a sine wave, right? It's like this, ebb and flow, ebb and flow. And when we have a lot of things going on in our lives, like say in our 3D lives, and there's a lot of things going on in our 3D lives, and we don't have the bandwidth maybe to process some real super significant dreams, our spirit will work with that, and then so it just so happens that mystical lull is in perfect time for three-dimensional intensity. Right? And then when things start to chill out on the three-dimensional intensity, then all of a sudden the mystical big wave comes and we're available for it. It's a beautiful dance between these realities. It's a beautiful dance. They're all, actually, I would say they're all going like this, right? Felicia says, are we not morphing into Homo luminous? I feel it strongly and subtly. Yes, that's a great way to put it. Humanity. All right, so she's speaking, that specific terminology is coming from teachings out of the Four Winds and the Cairo from South America. It's Peru, Bolivia, and parts of Brazil. There's another country in there. Anyway, the Cairo is kind of like spanning across the corners of those countries in the high mountains. And the mythology, the prophecy is that during these times of great chaos and change, a new human is going to start appearing on this planet. And they are not they are not Homo sapiens. They are a next genus of human. And Alberto called it Homo luminous. So there's a race of Homo luminous beings coming to this planet. And I have to say, I resonate with that too, because this is the phenomenon of the indigos and star seeds in my mind. And besides that, the Quechua, the Quero, not only do they talk about the prophecies, but they also held the transmissions and freely disperse the transmissions / encodements to people so they can grow a new light body and step into their Homo luminous nature. So it's not that, some races are falling out because they're obsolete. It's like, no, anybody who feels the yes for this can have these encodements and join the next quantum leap in our race. So just to speak a little bit about that. Thank you for mentioning it, Felicia. Homo luminous, yes. And then, okay, so Carol definitely resonates with the new star story. All right, hold on. I'm trying not to hit show, but I'm trying to scroll, and I keep hitting show instead. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I know. I don't usually talk like this. That's true. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I needed to hear this message. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. And dear sister Soul Schooling says, what is she says? Yeah, she's resonating. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, definitely share it. Share this. All right. This makes me so happy, and I really feel the truth of what you're saying so much. It brings so much joy. Yes, darling. Yes, darling. Yes, I resonate with your mystic emotional energies as you speak. Very validating. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you. All right. All right. So, dear sister Starshine says, I have been really leaning into I am sovereign, infinite creator being. Yes, wonderful. Awesome. The world is that much greater for that. All right. All of my body vibrates and repeats. Yes, 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 we made it. This is a sign we were waiting for. Thank you so deeply for sharing and confirming. Yes, love. Yes, love you deeply, sis. Yes, you too, dear Starshine. You too. Yes. Actually, I love this because, everybody here, well, most everybody, I'm going to say most of the people that are here listening to this conversation, we've met in person and have had personal exchanges. And, so anyway, it just makes me feel good. So let me get back into the dream time, talking about dream time and magnetics and this sort of thing. Okay. So now, you guys are familiar with, you have a dream, you write it down, and then you try to figure it out. Okay. And there are some values in that and getting to know the jumping jacks of your subconscious and your ego driver and stuff like this. But the mystical quality of your dream time, the actual part of your dream time that goes into being prophetic, goes into uh, realities that are on their way to manifesting in the here and now but haven't yet. Okay. When you're going into those realms, those aspects of your dream time, you're disregarding the story of the canopy of the who you think you are, and you're tapping into the energy that is behind that. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's not quite landing. It feels like it's, some of you got it. Some of you, maybe are still kind of like figuring that out. So I'm going to see if I can talk about it this way, and it'll make a change for you. So we understand that all of us have access to dreaming our world into being. It is a purposeful, mindful act. Okay. And so it starts off with an intention. It starts off with you directing yourself, your being. And so what I encourage everybody to do in the academy that's doing the Dreamtime Healing Project is prepare for bed. Okay, prepare for bedtime. Unplug from the chaos, completely shift gears, maybe take a bath, maybe meditate, maybe do sit with some in meditation, read, or do something to completely shift gears from your normal frequency and prepare for bed. So when by time you're laying down and getting ready to go to sleep, you are very clear inside of yourself and you can set an intention. Now, many people in the beginning, their intentions are around their personal healing. They're resolving personal conflicts that are in the way of them knowing who they are, in the way of them living authentically, in the way of them having peace and living in the way of them having sovereignty over their time and their bandwidth and stuff like this, which it's a great vehicle for. Absolutely. Dreamtime will bring that. But there's more. Once you heal all that, there is more. Way, way more. And I'm being reminded of something that Don Manuel said offhandedly, that he's like, I can care less if you guys heal. What's most important to me is that you learn how to step outside of time. And what he was saying there was that it was most important that to him, that all of the Westerners, all the strangers, outsiders he was passing his teachings to, that they would be able to step out of who they think they are and regain command of dreaming the world into being. That's what he wanted for this world. That's why he was going against everybody in his culture, in his tribe, teaching outsiders. It was very, very, very controversial for him to do that. This was what, 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago he was doing this. Okay. And of course, more ancient lineages have come out since. But really, those guys, they were the trailblazers. They were the trailblazers in that. I mean, just now the Native American tribes and wisdom keepers, lineage holders are now really opening their doors to outsiders, to white people. You know, so there's a lot of trailblazing that the Kero have done, and a lot of that is due to the courageous work of Don Manuel and Don Benito. You know, so. So when you're working in your dream time, it starts off as a healing journey. You're healing all the unacknowledged, all the pain, all the drama that's stuck in the body, stuck in the psyche, stuck in your lineage, ancestrally. You know, it's like the squeaky wheel that really needs your attention in your akasha. It's all that stuff. But then once you get going with this, you'll start to realize that there are some core themes to your very essence. And those themes become like a compass when you're navigating the mystery beyond the dream, beyond the veil of dream time. And you're in the pure creational energies, pure creational frequencies, the cosmic currents of your most primal dragon aspects. Okay. So what happens at that point in time, when all of those frequencies, you're engaged with them in your dream time, your conscious mind maybe can't orientate to them, but the mythic storyteller within you can translate those frequencies into, for the conscious mind to recall and work with when you're awake. The other ability is the emotional field, the emotional body. You'll have a feeling, you'll have a sensation, you'll have a sense. And those are absolutely essential to this whole process, right? So when I say it's an art of playing with magnetics, it's about these frequencies are coming to you because there's some part of you that's magnetized to them. They're meeting their mark somewhere inside of you. And then it's up to you to notice all the other pieces, all the other fields, magnetic fields within you, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, blah, 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 that are working against that frequency, that's working against that level of your cosmic envisioning. And it's all the ways we make ourselves wrong. It's all the ways we don't feel good enough. It's all the ways we feel rejected, right? It's wounding. It's all wounding. And when you've trimmed or pulled the veil of the forest back enough, your wounding is no longer a point of ouch, woe is me, purging and crying. Your wounding becomes a compass point, as in something that grabs your attention, because you notice that there's a different feeling, there's a different relationship happening to that now. And really what that is, it's that outer nesting doll of you, that cosmic aspect of you saying, hey, this is the frequency coming to you. And this right here is what's in the way of it instantly manifesting in your reality. It's this piece right here that is in the way of instantly creating, allowing that to manifest in front of you. So the relationship to your wounds change. The relationship to your personal stories change. They become less personal and more, say, archetypal. And we have a deep personal connection with the archetypal, right? And that is the piece that we work with. So I have some recommendations for you guys if you really want to start playing with this. Because really, the art of dreaming your world into being, you don't need any tools. You don't need anything other than you and your birthday suit. Okay. And that's my favorite. You don't need anything but yourself. And then you can be on your way with it. So the first hurdle for a lot of people in the beginning is the remembering of your dreams, right? It's building that dream time bridge between your conscious mind and the dream state. So this is where you're working at building up the spiritual energy in your body, because it does take significant energy to pull abstract dream frequencies into your conscious mind. So you develop some sort of habit that builds up the chi, the life force in your body, so it's nice and strong. Okay. You adapt some sort of forgiveness practice and start working with your lineages, your elders, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your great grandparents, and you make it a regular practice to bring forgiveness into those life streams. And those things brought together will exponentially heighten the life force energy that's available to you on a daily basis. Okay. The next piece is be respectful of yourself. Treat yourself with deep respect and dignity. Okay. Not everything and everybody is worth your bandwidth. A lot of people just want to waste your time. Not that they're in their minds. They're like, oh, I'm going to waste this person's time. No, it's because they live wasting their time. Therefore, they think of nothing of wasting someone else's time, because they lack the self-respect and dignity of their bandwidth and their awareness and focus. Okay. So not everybody is worth your bandwidth. So you need to become discerning of those engagements that are energy drains or not. Okay. And your current relationships of the people that you love, that you really want in your life, maybe they drain your energy, but you want them in your life. You can start training them to be in your life differently in relationship to you than they have in the past. Maybe it means creating boundaries. Maybe it means speaking with them differently, being way more real and honest with them, not so PC, not so caretakey or whatever. Okay. So it's cleaning up your personal relationships so they are in integrity. So you're cleaning up those energy drains. That too is going to exponentially increase your life force energy. And when you are full, when your cup is full inside with chi and life force energy, you have a much more spiritual strength to navigate the dream realms. The second attention, as Carlos Castaneda would talk about it as the second attention. Here in the academy, we call it tracking. Okay. But so once you have that in place, now you go into your focused attention. Your focused attention, focused intention. So you prepare for your dream time. You prepare for bed. You prepare yourself like you're about to go through a sacred ceremony, sacred act, because you are really. Dream time is sacred. So if you treat every bedtime like that, you're setting the stage for a much clearer dreamtime experience. Okay. And your dreamtime is not going to lie to you. It's going to show you the cold, hard truth, even the scathing truth you do not want to acknowledge. Okay. So there's no BS in dreamtime. So if you're preparing with acute attention and intention with your dream time, and you are having intense, maybe nightmare type dreams, it's because there's something you refuse to see. There's something you're not willing to look at, and it's quite literally chasing you. Okay. And the Taoist masters say, things, they say things like, what you run from is what chases you. it's like, of course I'm running. But their point is that the whole reason why you're being chased is because you're running. Okay, stop running. Instead, meet it face to face. And then now nothing will chase you. So that sometimes that part of you needs to show up in your dream time so you can really face what it is that on some level you don't want to see. And then once you place your attention on it, you acknowledge it and allow it to be so, and look at it more deeply, ask different questions rather than just making it wrong and wanting it to go away. Now the dream time becomes a platform for you to work this energy through. And you can work this entire energy out in one single night dream cycle. Okay, there's multiple dream cycles each night, but you can like completely clear that up in a single night worth of dream time if you allow it. Okay. And sometimes, we be gentle with yourself. There's a lot of resistance. So we'll have several nights dealing with this, or several weeks dealing with this, or several months dealing with this, depending on the level of focus, attention, and dedication you have to connecting and working with your dream time. You dream every night, whether you remember it or sense it or not, you do. I encourage everybody to do doodles as soon as they wake up with the energy of their dream, because that way you're capturing the energy in a three-dimensional representation. So you're still honoring the energy of the dream and bringing it to your conscious mind, even though it's in a subconscious language that you don't understand. Okay, you can still reflect by looking at that image. Okay, so once you are now equipped with using Dreamtime as a tool of empowerment, now it's about stepping into the great mystery with this Dreamtime. And the great mystery is stepping beyond the who you think you are and experiencing your infinity at large, so to speak. And the parts, you're infinite now. You are infinite. I am infinite. You are infinite. You are an infinite being in a biosuit. We are infinite beings in a biosuit, which means there's the quantum that's animating this biosuit, but then there's this massive quantum that's not in our biosuit at all, but still part of who we are. Okay? So our biosuit and the yes in our spirit is what magnetizes certain bandwidths of our infinite nature to our awareness. Let that sink in. Our biosuit and the yes in our spirit is what magnetizes certain aspects, specific aspects of our infinite. So that means we're a walking magnet, and we magnetize things to us. Some people call it synchronicity. I still call it synchronicity. But really, it's about magnetics. We become a magnetic draw to some things and a magnetic repulsion to other things. Okay? So once you're going into the mystery in your dream time, the art comes to getting out of the way, how to get out of the way, relax, and let the transmission happen. Because what's happening is that your infinite part of your awareness is transmitting the encodements for the reality that you're magnetized to. Okay, that it's magnetized to. So if you feel like you're here to serve the awakening of humanity, to wake up and liberate yourself, and be a benefit to the rest of humans on this planet, the rest of life on this planet, if you really feel like that's the truth, and it is the truth, you have an infinite aspect of you, awareness, that's going to transmit to you everything, all the encodements necessary for that reality to come to be so in your sphere. You might ask, well, why is, everything so messed up? It's because we've been lied to and manipulated for generations. And from the moment we've been born, we're confused. We don't know who we are. That's why they talk about us, the humans, being sleeping, sleepwalking, right? We're like in a daze, in a dream, a total lie, thinking that's what the real reality is, but it's not. The real reality is that our reality, this 3D plane, is so malleable. We have the capacity to move entire mountains. Yeah, see, instantly the rational brain is like, what? That's impossible. That's got to be a metaphor. Blah, 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 blah. But if humanity can call a new star into their skies with deep waters of peace, the silver stream essence, they did that with just their heart call. If humanity can do that, imagine what we can do when we're not asleep, when the mass of humanity is truly awake to who they are and why they're here, right? So there's many of us, especially in the academy, there's many of us who are on that edge. We're right on that edge of manifesting dreams, prophetic dreams, you know? And I think this is why those visions are coming to me now. It's like something just kind of clicked inside, and now it's like my spirit is showing me that there's been a full circle completion within my energy. And that's why these visions come and then they happen instantly, is that it's, things are very clear. I am more and more aligned with the truth of my spirit and why I'm here. And my ego driver exists, but it's not as combative as it used to be. I don't know about you guys, but I made myself wrong all the time. And it was because I was an empath growing up in a world where no one was honest with each other, let alone themselves. And I was constantly getting invalidated with the certain senses that I had. But then as I woke up and realized, oh my gosh, I've actually been right on this whole time, instead everybody's lying. And no one can be honest with themselves, right? And then things really started moving for me as far as waking up, and becoming more empowered, and my empathic skills, my empathic abilities became less of a burden and more of a place of empowerment, which is why we have those components within the academy and the Dreamtime Healing Project. It's like, we need to make that shift so we understand how to be in relationship with things. So our abilities, our special abilities, empaths, are an empowering piece, are a gift to bring into the scenario versus something that is a burden for us to carry. That's such a huge thing to shift for empaths. And plus, of course, it impacts Dreamtime. All right, let me get to Dear Carol here. Dear Carol, she says, my dreams used to consist of being chased by spirits, ghosts. It was terrifying. That has since changed. I don't dream like that anymore. Yes, exactly. So imagine if we were young, if we were kids, and we were being chased in our dreams or having a nightmare, and when we woke up terrified, we had a parent to come and hold us and let us know that they're loved and they're with us, and ask key questions. Instead of dismissing the dream, it's just a nightmare, it's nothing at all, they actually would speak to us about what it is when things are chasing you. How to deal with being chased, what is it really showing about us inside. You know what I mean? We would be having a much more empowered relationship with our dream time if we had upbringings like that. Some cultures do that, but not many. And there's a lot of indigenous cultures that also claim to do that as well. But and this is really unfortunate, and I really believe that the system that has done that is that. But there's a lot of suffering woven in with those cultures. You guys maybe have heard some of the terrible suffering and poverty and lawlessness that's in a lot of the reservations. So that means there's family trauma and addiction combined with this deep spiritual wisdom. You know what I mean? And there's a and it's a real tragedy because it feels like that really overrides the intention. All that trauma and all that addiction going through the lineages. All right, dear sister Luna Rio says, my great grandmother used to ask about my dreams and interpret them. That's awesome. Yes, yes. Yeah, my youngest daughter is a dreamer. She has really interesting dreams. And what I notice about her dreams, you can tell a lot about yourself with your dreams, because especially if you are experiencing training in second attention skills, aka tracking skills, because our natural inclination is shown to us in our dreams. And what I mean by that is that, like, say when you go into a room of people, we have a natural inclination of how we assess the room. Some people just kind of like close up, get real small, and stick by the water cooler or find their seat and stay there. And other people will kind of like skim the room and gravitate towards the group that feels comfortable. And, or, you know what I mean? Everybody has their way of negotiating the group energy. And so we all have our inclination. And this comes out in our tracking too. When we're tracking somebody, we have an inclination. And some people just go right for the depth, can go right to the jugular, right? They can go right to the jugular, no problem. And other people, it's like they need to, look at the overall landscape. They want to see it from here. They want to see it from there. They want to check in here before they go in deeper. And then, they kind of have this kind of experience. But these kinds of inclinations are reflected to us in our dreams too. So the style of dreaming that comes forward is telling you a lot on how you kind of like the automatic relationship you take. And my listening to my daughter's dream was giving me a really interesting perspective on her on her state of being and the kinds of things that what her natural inclination to relating to the world is, and it was really cool because sometimes it seems like she's more interested in surface stuff. But when she shares her dreams with me, I recognize how she's actually intuitively like in the depths. She just doesn't know it. She's intuitively in the depths of things. She just goes there, you know. Um, and I mean, there's all sorts of things that can get revealed with Dreamtime. Such a great tool. So it's a tool of getting to know yourself, but on the bigger landscape, it's a tool to empower your ability to create as a master creator, as a cosmic creator, and bring your creations, your dreams into this reality. So I quite literally manifested the academy like this, the people in the academy like this, was all dreaming it into being. Okay. Right now we're doing a facilitator series that was being dreamt into being. And that one was particularly difficult for me to dream into being. Why? Because I had big resistance to doing facilitator training. It's like, I just wanted to keep the part of me that wanted to stay in the comfort zone, wanted to stay in this particular zone and not go in deeper into the facilitator zone. But my spirit, my heart, everything about other parts of me other than my ego driver was like, nope, this is what's happening because this is what's coming. This is the wave. So you just got to deal with it. So of course I needed to do personal work and heal and clear things. And what the perfect people came on my path to trigger what they needed to trigger so I can see what I needed to see and bring harmony to it, so I can step into this facilitator stuff, right? Facilitator training. So that's how dreaming things into being works, is by magnetics. I am not consciously micromanaging all this stuff. I just have a knowing. I can feel the yes to the knowing, and then it ensues. I show up. I just make sure I'm showing up. I'm showing up. I'm showing up. And then I'm noticing when I don't want to show up, and I'm noticing when I'm not showing up, and what happens when I don't show up, and all that stuff. So it's like, that truth compass is the way through all that. Being honest with oneself, being truthful with oneself. If I'm not showing up, I really need to own that. There's no blaming. As soon as I go now, and of course I know when I start going to any level of blame, I know that I'm doing that because I'm not showing up somewhere. So now I need to, flip the script on that and start asking myself different questions, telling myself different stories, So dreaming the world into being is something that every single human on this planet can do. It's just changing our orientation, our relationship to ourselves is what it requires. And that truth piece has to be there. So just to run down a couple things to set you up with empowering yourself in the dream realm is taking good care of your energy, right? You're adapting some sort of daily practice to build the life force chi in your body. You're adapting an ancestral healing practice, either singing, honoring, forgiving all of the beings in both lineages, whether you knew them or not, doesn't matter. You hold their DNA, so you're offering love and forgiveness and light to the people that you come from. Then you're also being impeccable in your relationships. You're not letting people drain your energy. You're not letting yourself get sucked on. You're not choosing to get into dynamics that drain your life force energy because you built all that chi up. Now, you're a yummy morsel for ones that like to drain energy. So you need to take care of yourself now that you're all full of life force energy and chi. Okay. And then you make sure you are preparing yourself for your dream time. You're treating it like a sacred act, like you're going into something sacred. And then, of course, you follow through the next day. When you wake up, you doodle. You bring forward whatever feeling, sensation, whatever you have from dream time, you document it or record it, or, you bring it forward somehow. The extra piece beyond that is if you have a group where you can do dream shares, or a grandmother or mother or friend, that just amps it up even further, because once you start doing dream shares and you're unraveling the energies of the canopy, the distraction of the canopy in those dreams, your spirit's going to catch on with that and play with you and give you maximum impact of those sorts of things. So more opportunities for synchronicity, more opportunities for the grace to happen. And then every time that connection happens in your mind, you're like, okay. And there's a feeling that it connects with. And then pretty soon that feeling, you'll know the full circleness is about to happen, because you'll have the feeling before even the full circleness happens. Because this is all outside of time, guys. Remember, it's the past, present, future. It's everything. It's all potential all at once. So you could be dreaming about something that feels like the past, but really it's frequencies that haven't happened yet that are triggering that part of your lens. Okay. So the story that's being reflected to you may be one of the past, but the energy that's behind that story is one that has not happened yet. See what I mean? All righty. Well, thank you guys for being here. Time is just flying by. I didn't even realize the hour went by already. For those of you who are really feeling called to do these practices, like strengthening your energy field, strengthening the ancestral connection, healing the ancestral line, and shifting those empathic abilities from burdens into blessings, I encourage you to check out our core curriculum at Light Body Academy. So you go to lightbodyacademy.com, and we have a training called Core Curriculum. We ask for a 6-month commitment in the beginning, but it's meant to be a continuous experience. And then we have in the Dreamtime work, you can add on to that, and now that's the Dreamtime Healing Project. And that is where we experiment with lots of things. Group tracking. We also experiment with meeting people in Dreamtime. We do lots of things. It depends on what the moment brings, but that's something also available, Dreamtime Healing Project, lightbodyacademy.com. And of course, social media stuff. Thank you so much, you guys, for supporting us on social media. If this video was helpful, you know, do the like and commenting things. That helps the algorithm so other people can share it. And then also, you know, we're on Telegram, the multi-dimensional group, where we can have unedited conversations. You don't have to worry about getting tracked or anything in that group, and you can say whatever you want to say. And it's a wonderful community in that particular group. It's a multidimensional human chat. And then of course there's Rise of the Multidimensional Human on Facebook, as always. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you. Mwah, mwah. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Sweet dreams, everybody. I hope you make it a great day. Bye.